We're live.
Hello, everyone. My name is Victoria L. Welcome to the Waiting Game, Chapter 35. I would like to give a special, let's go back. Beneath me, who we got? My sister, Tanya. Say hello to the people.
Hey.
Next to her is our sister, Maggie. Say hello to the people.
Hey, family.
And we have a special, amazing guest. The Fortes. Now, let me tell you how I found out about them. My lovely parents, which if you know me, you know my parents. We all are riding together. So they were like, oh, we love this couple. We're just so, you should get them on your show. So I said, all right, they're married. All right, they can come. So we want to hear about them. And then they have a podcast too, but we'll talk about that later. So Fortes, introduce yourselves and tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yes, I'll start. My name's Gaza. This is my wife, Angel. We've been married for
A lot of years.
We'll get around to the reason why we're not announcing that just yet. But a lot of years. We reside in Atlanta, Georgia.
Stonecrest, Georgia.
Not. Stonecrest, Georgia.
We live in Stonecrest, which is the newest city
not Atlanta.
in Georgia.
Thank you. Right. Look, that's why I pulled it back.
Stonecrest is not Atlanta.
Right. We live in Stonecrest, the blackest city by percentage in America. But go ahead. Second richest black city compared to St. Huh?
Go ahead. Go. Take the floor, man. You got.
I just want to say, since you want to say Atlanta so bad, I just want to let the world know we're not there.
Okay, so
we're in Stonecrest.
We've been in Stonecrest, Georgia for how many years, Angel?
Since 2017.
2017. We have 2 kids, 24-year-olds, and we have a 8-year-old. She just turned 8.
You said 24?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a whole.
Y'all looking good.
Wait, what? Oh,
y'all looking good.
Yes, you do.
We'll talk by way of him. Yeah. You know.
It's okay. That's been on the show too. Hello. And we know.
What else? We run multiple podcasts, actually, not just one. We run one here in Stonecrest.
Why
this is a community.
And he's just
denying it, saying
Atlanta. But go ahead.
So we run one community podcast, and we also specialize in audio drama. You just keep laughing. You throw me off.
You said you specialize in audio. What was the second thing?
Audio dramas. I'll let Angel explain. She does a much better job at explaining it to me. Go ahead, babe.
Well, I don't think that's why they wanted to learn from us. I just wanted to make a point that we
got plenty
live
of time.
in Stonecrest.
Go on, man.
And then yes, we do audio drama. So we have multiple. One is about our relationship. Hence why we've been married for a lot of years, because it's traveling the saga of our relationship from its inception, and we take it through each season. So we're on season 3, which is our newlywed season, which is many, many years ago, but we're still presenting it as today. And then we also have another audio drama called The Forgiven, which is Bible scandals retold in a modern setting. So it's rewritten.
I love it.
The most salacious story. So the first season we did Samson and Delilah. We did David and Bathsheba. We did Joseph and his brothers, and Joseph and Potiphar's wife. And what else? We
got the new podcast coming.
Oh yeah, we have a children's podcast coming called I Can Do That.
And then we have a hood drama.
We have a hood drama coming called Loyalty.
You in Atlanta, you got to get the hood drama.
Right. We plan on having Atlanta voices for sure.
So,
I can't mimic them. I try.
We like that couples who work together grow together. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So we're excited about it.
That's something we learned.
You guys. Okay, you said you're gonna let us know about you were been together for a long time or been married for a long time. What does that mean?
So we've been married for significantly over a decade, but we just don't tell exactly how long, because if you want to learn about us, we really push people to go ahead and listen to the podcast, which is telling the journey. So if we go around and we tell our story in completion, not that you still wouldn't want to listen, but you go listen. But I would like to warn all of my God-fearing and Christian brothers and sisters that the show is not for kids and it's not for you. If you don't want to hear the bad words and maybe some sexual content. Okay, let's move on.
Explicit.
Listen.
So, and since you have the podcast that explains your story, are you able to tell us a little bit about how you guys met and how you got to the, just the dating story and a little bit to lead up to it, so we know a little bit about it.
When I met Angel, she had her whole face on a plate of food. I mean, I was like,
That's
who
not
is
true.
this girl? Like, what am I seeing here?
She's a liar. That is not true.
We actually met at it was a housewarming, right?
It was at a
It
housewarming.
was a housewarming.
And I did eat all the chicken patties, but that's not how he met me. Okay.
Okay, all right.
You know the Jamaican chicken patty?
Oh, absolutely.
You got
Yeah,
to be yourself.
I
you
never
do.
had them before. And I was just introduced
They're
to it for the first
delicious.
time. And I was like, well, what is this?
Mhm.
Yeah. And so, yes, I ate all of them with no shame. Actually, it was my cousin's friend. My cousin dragged me out of the house. So it's really kind of funny. I did not want to go to this particular housewarming. And my cousin's, oh, please come hang out with me. He's like my best friend, my best, guy cousin. I love him to death. And everyone always thinks that we're a couple. So I think he likes to keep me as his, his beard, if you will, because he doesn't want anybody to bother him. So he's like, oh, please come, please come. So I come, I'm hanging out. And I met his brother about 45 minutes before I met him. We were all just like hanging out. And then next thing you know, he came in before it's the guys that you see today. He was a carpenter. He came in full of sawdust. He had dreads back then.
Without a care.
Looking
I was just getting off of work.
Looking dusty.
I got the call. I said, I'm
Looking
coming.
dusty.
And
We say that too, but we say it in not a very loving way. But yeah. We say dusty.
oh yeah, dusty has all kind of connotations.
Yes.
I look
Right.
the good Dusty now. You know,
You got the woman, so
it had to have been ordained by God, because he was dusty and gaudy all at the same time. Like he had on like so much jewelry, right? He had on chains, he had on rings, he had this huge earring. I was like,
we go to work looking good.
I was like,
So-
I was
What?
like, who? What's going
Is this up
on?
north somewhere?
How about he from New
No,
York?
this
You
is
from
out
New
here.
York?
This is out here.
This was
But
in
you from New York,
Atlanta.
sir? You
No, I'm
New
from
York?
England. I'm from England.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
But you
London,
got an
England.
accent, though. You got your England? You got an accent. Okay, go ahead.
It's dissipated.
digress.
He basically sounds American now. That's why you said New York. He
He's-
likes to say,
He sound like he's from New York, especially with
So-
the chains and all that. They do that in New York. They do the
You'll
chains.
hear it in some things I might say, so you might catch.
say
You might,
squirrel.
no. You might
Say
catch.
squirrel.
You might catch a word or two.
Say squirrel. Say squirrel.
Squirrel. Let's go. What is it?
Squirrel. Say it.
Yeah, or artist.
Say it. Say it.
Okay.
When he gets mad, organization.
It's like Bridgerton.
An
Like Bridgerton.
artist.
Oh, y'all having lots of fun, huh?
Go get me.
I
Go get me a bottle.
I should bring another male counterpart in here. What is going on?
We're having fun. Just having fun.
Got an
But no-
exotic husband. All right.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah.
You
It's
know-
exotic. Oh yeah, because it's in multiple ways. It's a smorgasbord. This one here,
Okay.
I love him nonetheless. Even though he's not really
So
American.
tell him how we met, Angel.
We met there, and he came in, like I said, full of sawdust and all that, and then he
Dusty.
touched me. Yeah, I was sitting in a love seat. Well, it wasn't really a love seat. It was like a chair and a half.
Mhm.
And then he came and sat in the chair. He put his hand on my leg and said, "Ooh, this would be wonderful for a cold winter night."
What?
Wait a minute.
You bold, honey. You bold.
Like I said, it has been ordained by God, because I normally would have slapped him. I would have walked away. I don't know why. I just sat
Were there
tight.
any libations involved? Because
No,
I mean,
I don't even drink. It was
Oh.
something. I was transfixed by the
I
gold.
don't even
Yeah,
think
so
I
when
had
he
anything-
did that, what'd
He
you say?
hypnotized me.
Woo!
I don't even
What'd
Right.
you say to
Wait a
yourself?
minute.
I don't think I had anything to drink.
Oh, he says he was sober too.
Mhm.
Oh,
I seen it,
okay.
and I was like, oh man, that she looking real good. I think were you by
Okay.
yourself?
He just felt like
I
he could
was
go touch
I
her.
was with
Okay.
Alaric.
Yeah. So I knew Alric was there, so I had to be careful because I
Oh
wasn't
yeah,
sure.
they weren't sure if he was my
I wasn't sure if
boyfriend.
it was your boyfriend or not, so I had to scope the scene for a second. Fellas had to scope the scene. So, but now I seen her and I took my shot. I was,
That's what we talk about on the
Shoot
show.
your shot.
Shoot your
Mhm.
shot.
He
Come on.
said.
He shot it a little hard.
It was a slam dunk.
He shot me down with the bullets.
And what'd you do when he put his hand on your leg? Would you just smile? Was like,
I did like a dummy. I did.
She didn't have enough time to think. I buried her in conversation. Started
Oh.
talking.
He knew what he
And
was
then-
doing.
And then he gave me his card and he said, "Are you gonna call me tomorrow?" And I said, "I am." And then he was like, "Are you sure?" I said, "I'm a woman of my word. I will call you tomorrow." Then I was like, "Dang it, why did I say that?"
But we had a good conversation though,
That's what you
because
felt.
she
I
was in a
just-
similar field that I was working at in the time. You know, I was in carpentry and
Mhm.
and she was in
I was
cabinets
I
and
was an
stuff like
office
that.
manager for a cabinet company. So they started talking about cabinets and I understood what they were talking about. So he was super intrigued with the fact that I understood cabinetry.
Especially since I just came off the job. You know this work?
Looking dusty.
Look, sawdust.
I weren't that dusty, you know.
That's gonna stick to me always, dusty. But yeah.
Big body bends. I was looking kind of dusty.
Stop.
Oh Lord.
Yeah, behave yourself. It's-
I got
But he grew up though once he got polished. Ooh.
yeah, she tried to polish me.
I didn't try to
Oh.
polish you. You polished
I
yourself.
did that too.
I didn't have to
Mm.
polish.
Wait,
you.
so pause on that.
okay.
I want to hear, did she call the next day? But I also want to hear how you polished yourself or how she actually made
Correct.
you polish yourself because
Correct.
you want to be right for her. But we're going to let that settle, simmer for a minute. Did you call him the next day?
I did, and we've talked every single day since
Mhm.
since
Oh.
that day. We
Oh,
haven't missed
wow.
a day.
It was agonizing.
What?
We don't
Wait a
like being on
minute.
the phone for a long time as fellas, man.
What?
But
But he talked to me
Right.
for hours. I was
But he
at work
wanted
at
to.
my desk.
Mhm.
yeah,
Right.
but I wanted Brad.
He wanted to.
I wanted to.
You wanted to. Oh, that's so sweet.
I do.
You wanted to talk to me.
Mhm.
That's nice. Now I'll be like, hey, let's talk. I'm busy. I'm working.
Okay. Now, Maggie, the other question that you asked.
So,
the
well, before,
polishing.
how did talking
Mhm.
lead to more?
Hmm.
Wow. So
Meaning official, commitment, whatever. How did talking
Oh,
lead to
Maggie
more?
jumped across the bridge on that one. I'm like, I'm
Yeah,
thinking about
she
dating.
good. She good. We,
it's a- you know,
Oh, well, we can go to first date too. Look, I'm trying to
No,
progress.
no,
Come
we don't
with
get
it.
off. Maggie was like, whoa, whoa, whoa. Like what you did with her when you put your hand on her leg. Go ahead.
so we didn't have a first date for a long time. He was in a situation that I didn't know about until after we were already together. So we actually didn't see each
hold on
other
a second.
for
I
a
was
long time.
coming out of a situation.
He was in a situation.
That's right, woman.
He was in a situation which I did not know about until actually I think I didn't even know until we were married that that situation was even
Wait a minute.
there.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
Mm.
All right.
Why am I going to tell the new girl about past business?
Doesn't sound
Well,
like it was
it's
past.
not
It sounds
past,
like it
it's
was
There it
present.
is.
lingering.
There it is.
Sounds
There
like
it
it
is.
was
If-
present.
I had a
If
good
There
they
it is.
screen for that
lingering,
one.
they not past.
Thank
But
you.
if
business.
she didn't know about it, woo, you must have kept that. Woo.
Look,
I
I
was
never
gonna say,
I
because
never went to
women are
his house.
investigators.
No, but seriously, I was coming out of something, like seriously coming out of something. And when I met Angel, it was definitely not expected. And I definitely wasn't looking for anything at the time. So it was just, it was just a cool conversation, a cool night. And obviously it evolved to a whole lot more, right?
He said he wasn't looking for nothing, but he came over there hard and put
With
the
your
hand-
leg. He put his
Well,
hand on your leg.
But he touched me.
That's what I'm
Having,
saying. You was all up in
He
her
was
personal
ready.
space. But okay. All right.
having a
But
good
you-
time is all.
Mm-mm.
That's what they always say.
He
I
just
wasn't looking for
flirting.
nothing. And
That's
you've been
it.
married
That's
for
it.
50
Ain't
years.
that, it's harmless.
Let's still look.
It wasn't harmless, but okay.
Right. Not no personal
It-
space.
It was
Okay.
not harmless. If you guys listened, like, so we, if you guys ever listen to the Mermaid of the Lion, the first 3 episodes, I'm not in there, and it's just showing how much of a man dog he was. All the women that he journeyed through.
Mm.
Until I came, and we
All
told we
right.
talked, and we put that situation in there since I learned about
We
it.
actually removed a lot of stuff.
We did remove some. Well, we couldn't keep on going with all of the stuff because
Oh,
then the
okay.
season would have never got to me. I would have never came.
Oh my gosh.
I would have never made it in. So there, that
Hmm.
part. So that whole time we talk about all of those pieces about him saying that he wasn't looking for a relationship when we first met, me being okay with that because I thought that I didn't want a relationship either. And I was pretty, and then over time, I started feeling like I did want a relationship, but I felt like I couldn't put any type of pressure on him in that way because I came into the situation saying like, oh, I don't want a relationship either. I'm just looking for fun too. And then I was like, but I'm not gonna have sex with you. And I used to go over his house, and you know those little onesies that zip up, like the little baby onesies.
Yes.
I used to wear those over his house. He's
I
like,
bet
go
she
spend
can't
the
find it
night.
right now.
Tripping.
I bet
I
she
used to
can't
spend the
find it
night in
now.
that because I was like, I'm not having sex with you, but
You-
I'm not looking for
You
nothing either.
tripping, Shawty. You
Deaf to the
still-
onesies.
Yeah, you tripping. You gotta go
Look.
over there with a onesie on and
With
say,
a
"Oh,
one-
I'm not
With a
doing it."
onesie on. Look,
I'm not
he
doing it.
he turned the heater up to like 91 times.
He did that
Try
on
to-
purpose.
Yeah, he did, to try to get me out of that onesie. Talking about, aren't you hot?
She playing games. I mean, I can
You
play
played
that game.
yourself.
Yep. But come on now.
I
Wow.
like games.
I- no, he doesn't. His number one thing he says is, I don't play games. So you are a lie.
When is y'all's birthday? When is your birthday? Both of
His-
y'all.
I'm August. I'm a Leo.
Pisces.
Okay. That's why you touched a leg. You a Leo. That's
Oh, that's what
they're
it
very
is.
forceful. They're very, you know,
They
like
are, honey. They
manly,
extra with it.
manly.
So
Oh, they are.
aggressive.
They
I'm
manly. You
I
can
am
see
the
them, they
least
man.
aggressive person, least
No,
aggressive now, I
Leo.
think.
You are.
I don't know why he said that,
I
because
ain't
it's not the
aggressive.
truth.
I know it ain't.
It's not the
Because he didn't
truth.
care how he looked. He didn't care. He was coming from work. He didn't care nothing about that. But he was like, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna get that one." Boom.
No.
That's a Leo.
I don't even know
Which
why.
was Miss Angel.
No. I still to this day don't even understand why he liked me, because I had on this hat. Like, I'm telling you, my weave underneath that hat was so atrocious. Like,
No, but she had on
I had on
a shirt, right? It was like a fitted white shirt, like she was going to the office or
It was
something.
a
She had
button
a
down.
tie on. It just looked sexy, man. She had a tie on.
He
And
remember
she had
what he
a
had on. Hmm.
she had the
Right.
hat on, which she did have her hair like in a bob, and
it wasn't in a bob, it was in a nappy
Under the hat.
ponytail, but whatever.
but it was sexy, and she had everything fit right. So
I weighed 90 pounds. I wore a 00, so I really don't know what this
Oh,
man
wow.
saw at that
yeah,
time.
she was light.
So I don't know what
He
he
must-
saw.
obviously he liked it. So
Yeah,
Yep.
there you go.
with your 00, he liked that.
Back
So
then,
neither one of y'all wanted relationships.
that's
Mhm.
No.
However,
Right. You be and you're married.
How?
Okay.
and we're married, and
For a
we're
while.
married for
For a
a
while.
while. We got married within like 13 months time
Oh, from meeting? Oh wow.
from meeting. Mhm.
Now, when you went back, you said that, it took a while for you guys to, go with your first date. How long did it take to go on the first date?
What was that, a
I think
month?
that was a house though, wasn't it? I brought you to the crib.
No,
you
we
dinner.
went to Joe's Crab Shack first.
Oh, good Lord, don't bring that up. That was back when it first opened. When it was actually
He just want to let you know it was brand new.
Yeah,
Right.
It was
good.
brand new.
It was good back in the day.
just
Back in the
opened.
day.
It was brand new.
It's still like, now when I think about that, we both are like,
No.
why
It's
do we
back
do
in the day when
Me.
Red Lobster was good.
Mhm. No shade.
Oh.
there.
right. Red Lobster used to be the date spot.
Hello,
It used to be
this
the
is the
spot,
date.
man. I'm telling you,
It-
yeah.
It's right off of the bus line. So
Stop.
I can't.
I'm just saying, it's right off the bus line. Boom.
That's right.
You wouldn't even know.
But
They
Red
got good
Lobster,
drink, whatever.
it used to mean so much to me, Red Lobster.
Oh, you can
I
eat
would take
shrimp.
myself there when I was
man.
sad. I would take myself there when I was happy. It
Oh
used to be.
wow.
Yeah,
Well,
but I'm
that's
all about
really
shrimp
good.
though. Shrimp is my absolute favorite food. Like, I will
Mm.
spend my last whatever and go to the little seafood counter. Like, yeah, I want 3 pounds of the
She's not
$6.99.
lying.
So I
She
can
ain't
go
lying.
home and make a crab boil for myself because I'm sad.
That's why I started off the story about her whole face being on a plate of food, because she loves to eat, and then she will devour some food.
Before we went on our first date, my cousin stopped me before we went out the door. That's how I always remembered that we were going on the date first. She said, now listen, don't you finish your plate before he does, because no big man wants to see a little woman scarfing down food faster than he can. It's frightening. I was like, oh. Sorry.
And that didn't mean nothing. You
No,
got
when I-
yeah.
When I got there, no, I was watching him. I was waiting for him to put a spoonful in his mouth so that I could, because I was trying to pace myself. I was so hungry. Yes. He takes food home every time. I always finish. And he takes food home
What a big
every
apple.
single time. He's 6'4".
Big eyes, small stomach.
He
that's all it
weighs
is.
like 200 pounds and he never finishes his plate. I don't understand. It gets on my
Do you eat a
nerves.
lot? Do you eat a lot of small meals?
Me?
No, him.
him.
Because I'm like, yeah, because I'm like,
I don't really eat a lot of small. I think they're decent meals. I mean, she'll probably say what it was
Cause
small.
I'm like taking food home, not no 6'4", 200 pounds, but okay.
When I work out, I eat a whole lot, obviously.
Okay.
But during the day when I'm not very active, it's probably like, it's probably small meals. Probably say small meals.
So
Mhm.
it's a regular plate at a restaurant. He doesn't finish it.
She likes food, okay.
Yeah,
13 months. Do you think, okay, so when you guys met and you guys got acquainted and you started liking each other or whatever, and you found out about this situation or entanglement, if you want to call it that, that's
I
the
was
word right
married
now.
already when I found out about it. I already lived with him and it was over. I didn't find out about it until it was long done. Long done. I'm a married woman and him and his friends are over here talking about it. They're just laughing. And I'm like, what? What are you talking about? And he's like, oh, yeah. So let me tell you what happened.
It's
Oh,
not my proudest moment.
okay. It's called grace. She gave you
So
some
is that
grace.
what you were polishing? Is that what you were polishing? You was
Right, trying to polish
getting
that up.
right.
Oh, I polished in a lot of different areas, yeah.
He's
I polished a
fiercely
lot of
loyal. And I can't even say that he wasn't loyal then. For everyone to validate this story, I've come to terms to believe that it is true that he already had broken up with this person, but they had a financial
living
and
situation.
immigration issue, I think, that they needed to. So he was.
I'm sorry. I always think whenever I hear immigration, I think about 90 Day Fiance. But go
A
ahead.
whole nother story, man.
So he was trying to work that out to remove them from the homestead before he invited me over to come over for him to make the nastiest shrimp scampi I've ever had.
All right then.
I tried to cook us something. Didn't go so well, obviously.
But you tried.
Right. Now, how long y'all been in the audio business?
The shrimp scampi.
For since the end of 2019.
Mm-hmm.
So first podcast was mine alone called Dirty Talk. And then I came home and I begged Gaza.
Look, she has more questions.
Oh, about Dirty Talk?
Yes, she does.
Dirty Talk. Dirty Talk is a
it's a grown one, isn't it? It's grown, isn't it?
It's grown.
It's grown, right? Where we ask men specific questions that women want to know, only male guests on the show. And then I ask the questions from a female perspective. So I used to go out to barbershops, to cigar lounges, to nightclubs, and I would interview 50 men and ask them a set of questions. We'll tally it. We'll come back on and speak with one male guest about the survey results, get them to give their questions and opinions about that specifically. And but COVID came and I wasn't about to be in the streets like that anymore. So
that was your first podcast.
That's a good idea.
It was my first podcast, right? And it did really, really well. Like it got to 10,000 downloads like before we knew it. Like people were very, very interested in the content. But yeah, COVID.
But see, okay. So let me ask you this then. I'm sure you had to deal with men trying to holler at you while you trying to do work. I'm just trying to do work. Just answer my question.
This is the opposite. I had a man like rebuke me and cuss me out for being a married woman walking around asking men how do they want oral sex performed on them. And any woman who was married and claims to love Jesus would never ever approach another man.
What rating is this podcast before you go?
I didn't say anything wrong. I said oral.
No, listen, it's not for kids. We grown. We 35 and up. I mean,
when we on Stone Chris Weekly, we have to keep it real clean.
Oh yeah.
Look, I got a potty mouth.
You're gonna find out anyway. Go ahead.
I wasn't about to say a bad word, and I didn't say.
Okay.
I didn't say like DS or anything like that. All right, so.
Don't stop now.
Look, Tanya's like, I do not know how to take these people.
I mean,
no, I'm just listening. I'm like, okay. I would have been a fly. I would love to have been a fly on the wall.
Me too.
Listen, all of my friends, we used to be in the studio, and then that was the other thing. We would give them alcohol. I used to buy little bottles of like apple crown and
Yep,
what was
the
the
little
other one? I used to
shots.
have white and
Uh-huh.
dark.
Henny.
Oh yeah, I used to have a
there.
Hennessy. Yeah, I used to have whatever they wanted to drink. And I mean, if they started getting loose, then my friend used to just be like, she would come from the side and just, here you go, keep talking, friends. Let us know
Oh,
the
so you
truth.
drugged them so that they would let down their walls.
But it was so authentic, right? They were really speaking
I
their
was-
piece and their truth.
Yeah.
And it was a great experience. Gaza only came one time to the studio with me, and I used to want him to come more. For the
Yeah.
other, I didn't want
Well-
anybody to think that like I was like secretly trying
And
to
then too,
like them.
that was her first podcast at the time, and she told me the concept of what she wanted to do. And I said, "You want to do what?"
Oh yeah, he wasn't for it at
I
first.
said, "Yo, what's this
I
about?
wouldn't
Was
think you
something,
would
is
be.
something going on
Yeah.
internally?
Hello? I wouldn't think you would be.
What's going on over here?" So well, once we kind of talked about it and stuff like that, she brought me to a place. I was like, okay, well, what are those? How is this going to work? You gonna be out there talking to dudes and like, how does that work? Now you getting them hooked up into the studio, but we talked it out. She had a solid plan, and one of the girls that accompanied her was I would just say she ain't something to play with. So I felt pretty comfortable, and I didn't want to. We talked about me being around while she was interviewing some of these people, but at the same time, you want to get the fellas to be able to talk without feeling uncomfortable, right? So, but yeah, it worked out. You guys should definitely go give it a listen.
It's
I
old
want
school
to.
now. When I go
Yeah.
listen to the audio quality on it now, I'll be like,
But
It's-
Samantha, that was the first.
we've learned so much,
Mhm.
but
Yeah.
it's great content. And then also,
And I tell her she should bring it back too. So
well, I just didn't like the virtual thing. I think there was something unique about me being able to be in their face, like tell the truth,
Yeah,
don't shame the
yeah.
devil, versus some of the very last season I did the surveys digitally or virtually, excuse me, and I just don't feel like the guys were as receptive and into it as they were. Oh, and I used to get sound bites from them too on the streets, and oh my gosh. I used to
yeah,
play
those are
this.
great.
I would play the sound bites at the end of the episode. That was that was my favorite part, and that also is what got the listen through rate going really well because people used to want
And
to
even
hear.
even now, we
the
still get a
end.
lot of listens on that podcast.
Good.
And she hasn't done an episode
I
since
haven't
when.
done an episode since 2020.
Yeah, but I still get the bus sprout notifications. Your episode has X amount of listens this week.
I'm
I'm
like,
like, "Damn,
oh,
that thing is still ticking."
I'm like, people
That
still
means keep
listen.
going. That means you
Yeah.
should keep going.
Yeah, for
Maybe
sure.
I might
Um,
bring it back. Maybe.
But at first, I had a problem with it, man. I had a problem. I had some questions. I
As
had
you
a lot of
should.
questions. But how long we were together so long at this point that I trust my wife with
Mhm.
and we should, right? We're married, but
I used to go out looking as raggedy as possible. I had my hair in two
That don't
ponytails. I
mean
used to wear
nothing, clearly.
Mickey Mouse
At all.
pants.
That don't
with
mean
the-
nothing.
what I don't trust is the fellas, right? But the environments that she was going to,
Right.
a little bit more upscale places where I would say a little more gentlemanish, a little more.
I'm telling you, those old men were the
Little.
worst. The old
You-
men were the
'Cause
worst.
I don't trust guys. like that.
Girl.
I'm telling you, this 60 and older men that I was like, you know
I
what? We're not
know.
interviewing y'all no more because y'all done got y'all pills and you feeling very excited about life, but I'm not gonna participate in this.
Right. They might get nasty real quick. So what made
They-
you join
So
in?
fast,
Yeah.
so fast, worse than any young man who I think the young men were just like, are you playing with me? Or like, what's going on? And my favorite thing was to walk up and to someone's girlfriend, like, hi, my name is Angel. Can I ask your husband some questions? These are the questions that I want to ask him. And I'm trying to get some married men or men who are in relationships. They were like, girl, of course. One lady was like, I don't think I feel comfortable with you talking to my husband because he's had trouble with cheating before. And I can't trust that he's not going to ask you for your number when I'm not looking. I said, well,
That's
thank you
the
for
problem.
Which would be
your
no surprise.
honesty. For your
Right.
honesty. I don't want to talk to
That's the
him either. Thank you. We'll move
Right.
on. So
Hello, do y'all listen? I'm married too. Okay, just so you know. That's interesting. You should have made her come on the show too and tell her how they relationship.
so many people are like, how come you don't bring women on? Women, when I'm like, that's the thing. Like so many women, look how comfortable we are. It's 3 or 4 of us here,
Yep.
right? We're all ready to converse, but most of the time men either don't feel safe in a space to talk or they don't want to be open to talk. There's some sort of weird code where they don't want to be open. It is all
Hence how we started the Mermaid and the Lion podcast, which is
Hmm.
the podcast that came after Dirty Talk.
Mhm.
I ain't a podcaster. Don't think of myself as a podcaster. She brought me into this with the relationship based audio drama. So that's a whole
I
it's a
think
whole
it's
nother
worth it.
spill.
It's worth it. It's been great. We made a lot of mistakes, you guys. We made a ton of mistakes. And if listening to The Mermaid and the Lion can stop just one couple from doing the toxic, ignorant stuff that we did, then it is so worth it. It is incredibly worth it. And then on the back end, this show, you know, it just also for Black people to be able to get voice work. That's another one too. There's a lot of Black people who want to do audio and they don't get a lot of chances. There's roles that call for African American people, but instead of hiring an African American person, they'll hire someone who can mimic an accent or tone.
That's fact.
Right. And they don't understand the culture, so it doesn't land very well, but people still take it because they're just so desperate to hear a Black story or a Black voice in a story. So that's another reason why we wanted to do the audio dramas and highlight as many voices of color as possible. So we don't have only Black people in the shows, but we definitely try to lean first towards people of color to give them the opportunity to see if this is something they want. We don't look for professionals on The Mermaid and the Lion, but on any of our other shows, like for instance, for The Forgiven and for Loyalty, we have professional actors who hurt our pockets, but nonetheless, The Mermaid and the Lion is where anybody who wants to gets a chance.
Yeah, that's our flagship. It's our flagship show. So out of all of our podcasts, the Mermaid and Lion is the biggest one, the relationship one.
So now y'all listening, y'all got homework to do. Check out their show, The Mermaid and the Lion.
Right.
Let's do. You're gonna. It's not a chat style pod, guys.
Well, you know,
so I think
we used to take questions and stuff like that from people, and we had a episode called Lion Lessons, where people would call in and ask for my advice on certain things, and I'll give
can
them
you
the best
imagine the advice
I could give
he's
them.
giving?
I would give some pretty good advice.
Like there was this one time where this man, the lady wrote in because her husband's father was pushing up on her and was basically he was assaulting her because he was touching her and doing all kind of, and she didn't know if she should tell her boyfriend, you know, what his dad was doing.
I forgot what I told
it was something wild. he said something about like twist his balls and tell the dad later or something. Like I don't know.
Say that. I don't want to say that. Hold on.
All right then.
Am I misremembering?
Yeah.
I don't think I am.
Cut that part out. I'm playing. You don't cut nothing out over here.
No, it's live. It's live.
You don't cut nothing out.
Live. I like
shoot. You did tell me to watch myself because it was
authentic. And you know where it's going after you get off of this? It's going on YouTube, it's going on Twitter, it's going on the all of the airways.
Ooh, we're over the whole internet. Well,
yeah. But listen,
to my brothers and sisters in Christ, we are all a work in progress. We are all moving and chasing after you because all have fallen short of the glory.
We will be a work in progress for the rest of our lives.
For the rest.
It is okay.
I didn't.
But okay, I got a question about your relationship.
That's right.
And how did you know from both sides how she was the one, and how did you know he was the one?
He's gonna answer that.
How did I know that she was the one?
Right.
I dated a lot of women.
Okay.
And I experienced a lot with those women. I figured out what I liked and what I didn't like. And although I was dating a lot, I still had an ultimate goal. And that was, you know, I wanted to ultimately settle down with the right person and find that, you know, my companion for life. And it's definitely something I want. But Angel, I mean, she just checked off all the boxes for me, man. I mean,
what were these boxes?
Right, specific.
We want specifics.
You know, she was. I wanted somebody who was nurturing. I felt like she was. She was very loving and nurturing. She tended to me. I like that too. There's nothing wrong with people tending to.
Angel was giving the right attention. Okay.
Yep, she was.
But she was just ride or die, man. she was ride or die, and we had always had a good time, always had good conversation. Like I said, we would talk on the phone with fingers an hour, and it's hours and five, right? Um, yeah, look, y'all trying to have me spill hold.
I'm learning myself. Just kidding.
And but no, just a lot of conversation, just where her thought process was, perspectives. We played out a lot of different scenarios. What would you do if this happened? Family type stuff, and just over time, it just she just I don't know, man. It's just you just know.
Everybody
Um,
says that.
they
Angel.
do, and it's hmm,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I loved him, and I think I knew that I didn't want to give up the love that I had for
Mm-hmm.
chasing if I was going to find this kind of love or something better. I think that everything was good in the relationship. We had not had an argument at that point. Well, we had one argument about getting locked out of my house and he didn't want to come and save me. But no,
It's a
that's
whole
neither here
other
nor
story.
there.
Right.
Miscommunication.
That was I should have. But anyway, moving on. I loved him. I loved him in spite of him abandoning me on that cold night. And also, he had values that meant something to me. So he had a son,
Mm-hmm.
and I had I wanted to have a family, and something that was important to me was seeing what type of father he was, even though he was no longer in a relationship with the mother. So the type of relationship they had, number one, how he cared for his son and had him more than the weekend type situation, like where it truly was a joint and shared custody. How careful he was with how he handled me and showed me my importance in his life, how he involved me. He almost, once we decided to be a couple, he almost immediately integrated me in his life and the things that he was trying to accomplish. He talked to me about what he wanted to see in the future and how he saw me as part of that future without saying so. He wasn't like a lot of people will try to sell you a dream, like, I can imagine this, and that. And he talked
Mm-hmm.
a lot in the terms of we and what do you think about, which made me feel included just naturally. I didn't want to walk away from that because I thought that I would find someone who at the time was more financially stable, or someone who I thought was more romantic, or someone who, all the things that a lot of times that we chase that is frivolous. He had beyond that. He showed leadership, he showed community, he showed belief in God, all the things that mattered to me. So I knew that I wanted to be with him. When he chose me to be his wife, I was like, okay, the feelings are mutual, because I was never, ever, ever going to ask someone to be my husband. So, that's funny too,
You know they
because he
switch it
didn't
up
really
now, though.
ask me to be his wife. But nonetheless, yeah, hey, I made a little comment to him. I said, it was during the housing bubble burst, and he was in construction, and we were talking about like what we could do. I wanted to help him. He didn't want to accept help from me. And I was like, well, I could give you this money or I could do that. He was like, no. He was like, well, maybe we could just go get a joint bank account. I think I could handle if we had a joint banking account.
Airing this out.
Oh,
It's in the show. Oh, I was like,
okay.
and then he was like, I'm not, I was like, I can't have a joint bank account with someone who I'm not married to. And then he said,
Come
okay,
on
then
now.
let's get married on Monday.
Oh,
Oh,
Hey, let's do it. If I'm asking you to join back, let's go,
okay.
man. Let's do it. Why
And
waste
I
time?
was like, this man's tripping.
All
I went,
right.
then he was like, the next day I went to work, I came home. He was like, did you look for rings today? And I was, oh, you're trying to marry me on Monday?
Be
Oh,
for
you
real,
really?
for real.
Oh,
Mhm.
you want to marry me on Monday?
Hmm.
Hmm. Oh,
Don't act
well,
like you were stalling.
I didn't stall. I just thought you were faking it at first, and I immediately bought the rings when you told me. I had to look for them. I did.
Got some nice rings too. Some nice $50 Walmart.
They weren't Walmart rings. They were internet rings.
Listen,
They were internet gold rings, okay? And
Listen.
mine was $24, not 50, and yours was 50 because we needed a thicker band for you because we didn't want it to break.
We upgraded
So we
them.
spent $75.
Nobody would know that though. You understand what I'm saying? Sam's, listen, we've had this conversation. Every time I go to Sam's,
Those
and you
rings
know,
are
you gotta
busted.
walk by the little rings because you don't know. Who knows that you got a Sam's ring?
Nobody knows.
You know what I'm saying?
Nobody.
Nobody knows. That's why I'm like,
Nobody knows.
girl,
And they're
I
gorgeous.
know. I mean, that ain't
I-
giving no, pass for nobody to be going and giving, $20 ring.
No,
And
no,
most
no.
people don't know about the ring.
After a few years, Angel knew.
What? I knew what?
Our time for upgrade.
Oh, the upgrade. Well, no, you upgraded me on our 1-year anniversary.
It was a little longer than that.
No, it was. It was. You said happy anniversary to me. You and
See, Angel remembers the story better than I do.
he gave me then at that point a princess cut ring, a solitaire princess cut ring, and it was gold. And the diamond fell out, but I still have the other part. The diamond fell out.
It was a thought.
So then I got this ring later on. Nope. This is my 4th ring.
Yeah, we've
This is-
upgraded a few times.
Interesting.
Lovely.
Look, but I've had this one. No, which one did I have the longest? I don't know.
So let me ask y'all a question about because he had a child, right?
He did.
So he had a child and you had none.
Mm.
So how did it work with the baby mama? Well, ex-wife or whoever, whether the other woman.
Baby mama.
Okay,
And
how did that work?
beyond what you guys could believe, she was fully integrated into the family when I came. She lived with his parents. So,
It's a different type of story.
they were young when, and so she moved her into the
let's
house.
backtrack. She didn't really have much family, and I got involved with her. And, as Angel said, she moved into my parents' house when she got pregnant.
Mhm.
I was young, 19, 20. I was
You were
19,
not
19.
20, but that's
But
funny.
she moved in, and my mom, she's the type of person. She's like, you ain't gonna have no kids, and I'm not gonna be in that life. And so
Mm.
she did a few things that I wasn't necessarily too happy with at the time, and she brought her into our household. So
Wow.
it's but we try to make it work. Obviously, didn't work.
No, not like that.
No, I'm talking about with with baby mom.
Oh yeah, with the baby mom.
Mhm.
I'm grateful that they didn't work out. I'm glad
Well,
that they're
really?
friends.
But in Angel's defense, how she was so graceful, just how she handled things coming into the relationship, knowing that there's another woman there of significance
Oh,
to the
100%
family.
of the time.
Because my family looked at my baby mom like family, right? And then Angel's coming into the mix, and she's feeling kind of secondary, and so we had a lot of issues in the beginning. Things are great now. The relationship just all the way around is fantastic, even with the baby mom. And I like.
I know,
think
but
that's
she's
her
a
name.
wonderful. Hold on, let me say this. We say baby mama, but she's by no means trifling. She is like a great woman. She's a
Mhm.
beautiful person, and I'm
I would-
happy to share
The mother
some
of
with
your
her.
child, sure.
Mhm.
I would say that we all grown, right?
But when I call her, I do say baby mama sometimes. Not anymore because now he's a grown man. Grown man mama. No.
But there was a lot of boundaries that Angel felt like she shouldn't cross, and she was just very respectful in how she handled everything along on with while my son's growing up and whatnot.
I think, to be totally honest, the only reason I was able to be a good stepmom to him was because of what I witnessed with my own mother. I'm not a product of a broken home. I don't have any half brothers, sisters, or step brothers and sisters, but my mom did, and how she was treated was despicable in my opinion. And I promised myself that if I ever found myself in love with the man who had a child, I was not going to commit to that relationship unless I felt like I could give 100% to that baby and be as much of a mother as his mother or her mother, whatever it was that they would have allowed, and felt that I wasn't infringing upon the relationship. So I did tread lightly. Boy, did I want to take over because I loved him. He was my baby. He lived with us almost 100% of the time after we got married. I wanted I wanted to have a deeper level of influence, but you can't. Like, I don't think that people ever really understand, like people who take step parenthood seriously, what we go through, the turmoil within of determining what that fine line is to walk when people actually, because some women who I've met, they don't have the same perspective about step parenting as
Right.
I do. They don't care the same way that I do. And I guess that's why we're no longer friends. But I saw it as a core responsibility for me as his wife to
That's
take,
right.
if two become one, then what's you is part of me. And if I can't stand up and be that, if I can't take these lumps for this child's sake, then what am I here for? I shouldn't be here.
Right.
So.
And I knew all that from the beginning. I knew there should be that type of person.
Oh, did you?
Oh,
When you
yeah.
touched my leg, it traveled to your brain.
Right. He felt
Right.
all
That's exactly what he
Oh,
did.
I had the necessary conversations from the beginning.
Oh,
You're-
but
you're
How
right.
old were you guys when you got married?
I was 29
Mhm.
and you were, well, don't do it. Were you 25?
Thank you.
25.
Okay.
So what are you said you asked all the right questions. I know y'all talked forever and ever, but to the single people watching,
Yes.
or maybe even the dating people, like what would you say are like your top 2 or 3 questions that you would ask when getting to know someone, or if you want to go to that next level?
I guess probably one of the first questions, where you imagine yourself being in the next 10,
You said
20?
A
Where do you
job interview
imagine
question.
Can you imagine? Yeah.
where do you imagine yourself being in the next 10, 20 years? Like, do you
Mhm.
imagine yourself married? Do you imagine yourself with kids? Do you want kids? What's your aspirations as far as career wise? That's gonna
Mhm.
tell me a lot if you're more ambitious or if you want to be more kind of like um I can say a housewife or anything like that, but you know what I mean. Um uh yeah, I would say those would be my top 2.
I don't have a lot of questions for the other person except for, do you believe that Jesus Christ is the Son of God and He died on the cross for our sins, that He is
What?
the one and only Savior to get to heaven? And then if you believe that, then we could probably figure everything else out. But
Right. I
the
don't know
ma-
if it's in the church, child. I
Yeah,
don't know.
I was just, honey, I was
Because I
just
don't even know
thinking
how.
that.
Yeah, yeah. I don't
no,
know about
you
that.
don't even have to be in church. I just need you to believe in Jesus, because I met this man. He wasn't my man. He was somebody else's man, a man of a woman that I loved. And he didn't believe in Jesus. And he said that Jesus was out here sinning and doing stuff, and it bothered me. So after that, it really mattered to me about people believing in Jesus. But I don't have a lot of questions for the other person. I like to watch people's behaviors, because I feel like when I ask a lot of questions, you start to feel and identify what's important to me, and then you mimic that. And you start to move and model in those particular behaviors. It may only last for some time, but by that time, I may have already been deceived. So I don't want to ask you too many questions. I want to take a look for myself and watch your behaviors and ask myself, do I like that? If I don't like it, do I think I can tolerate that for the rest of my life? Oh, you smack. Can I listen to you smack for the rest of my life? Oh, you snore. Oh, can I tolerate this for the rest of my life? Oh, you lie.
Yeah, that's the thing too. I think, right? You really don't know a person until you really, and even when you've been like Angel and I've been together for a long time, we
Still
still
learning.
learning each other. So until you start really going through some stuff, like I've seen people married 20, 30 years, they go through one hardship and it's done.
Mhm.
Right. And
Mhm.
I think for Angel and I, we've been through a lot of hardships, and you'll, if you guys listen to the audio drama, you'll hear some of that there. But from the time we got married, we were dealt some serious blows with stuff, and we had to deal with things, learn how to move together as a married couple very, very fast. And I think that's helped strengthen us as a couple, just learning how to kind of team up together and face everything else as a real, real team. And I think that's something that's really helped us along our journey. So you could do all the talking, and that's great, and you should try to talk as much as possible. But you know, sometimes you just gotta go with your gut.
Oh, don't create mock scenarios to see how the person will behave, because that right there, friend, is
What are
just as
you
bad as lying.
implying, Angel?
No, I'm implying that you shouldn't create mock scenarios. So, like, sometimes you'll want to see, like, oh, I wonder if I leave my phone out, will they go
Oh,
through it?
that's nonsense.
All
Yeah,
this other, the people do things like
yeah.
that. Like, don't set yourself up or
Yeah.
try to create things to see if you think that you're learning this person by creating. What you're going to learn is that um, you're an idiot, And
Mhm.
and be true to who you are and yourself. Like I feel like if you're honest, just up front. Like I know when I was dating, I believe I was very honest and upfront. I mean, you probably wouldn't say so because I
because you lied.
didn't tell her, but
Oh, about
I
that
was
lady. Mhm.
right. But I was 95. I'm 95% honest guy, right? So,
Sure.
but I just think that being honest and upfront about what you want, what you're trying to do. If you are the type of guy that just wants to date, let the other lady know and give her that option if she's okay with that. I just feel like communicating in that level, it makes things so much easier for both of you guys to make a decision on what. Sometimes you might land might land somebody who's okay with that, right? And you may not.
No, I do like that part about being honest about what you want. That's the main thing about cheating or someone who's deceiving you is they don't ever give you options, right? You have the right to choose if you want to stay in that dumb situation or not. When they lie to you, they took away your options, and that's where the real problem and betrayal comes in. Gaz is really good at being very honest about the horrible things that he does. He'll be like, you know what? This is how I want
Take
it.
it or you ain't. Right.
Take it or
You
leave it.
gonna
I'm
take
like,
it or you ain't.
so like, one horrible thing he'll do is like eat my leftovers,
But
and,
she knows my worst
and he'll be
ways, and
honest about it.
like I said, it's just be honest, just be true to who you are, and it just makes things so much easier. I ain't gonna call no names out, but I know people who they can't even go on a fellas trip without lying to their significant others about where they're
Mm.
going and stuff like that. To me, I
Mhm.
feel that's dumb, man. If I have to
It's
lie
dumb.
about where I'm going, I don't need to be with you, man. I am not about to be creeping around, and I'm a
It's
grown man.
too much. That's too much. That
I
takes too
should be
much
out.
anyway.
Yeah, it's too much energy, man.
Well,
So
why do you need to go on a fellas trip when
why I
you
can't
got
go on
me?
you're going on a ladies trip, and it's cool.
Why do I
So
need to go on a ladies trip?
why you
Oh, never
can't?
mind. I don't
But
want
I'm
to
saying
stop
those are the type of things, and
Yeah.
jealousy and stuff like that. So you just really got to trust your significant other. I would have never, in fact, the whole dirty talk situation podcast you had, if I ain't trust him, well, one, we wouldn't have been together. I ain't trust him, but yeah, I mean, just trust and knowing yourself and being honest.
I think they answered the question that we always ask in the end, Maggie.
I agree.
That I think that they
We jumped to the
Okay.
end. Oh,
you did. You already just flowed. Like your relationship. So you already asked, we always ask them, you guys just did it. You said trust, be honest, tell somebody this is who I want, this is who I am, this is what I want from you. If you're gonna give it to me or you ain't. It just is what it is. And plus we're getting older, and it's harder when you get older because it's like, look, I've been doing this for 30-some years. He gonna fold in and I'm gonna fold in, or it's not gonna work.
All right.
So you guys are amazing. Yeah, okay. So I'm gonna say this one last thing. The thing with the men, we've had men on this podcast. It's been tough though, because my sister Tanya and will be asking Rolodex of men. Hello, can you come on? Can you come? Can you come? Can you just say this? Can you come? And they're like this. No. They don't want to be, and I understand that's something that maybe I'll never understand because I'm not a man. But culturally, women are easier to just say, hey, this is what's going on in my life. But men is a little, you got to rub them a little bit. But the men that did come on, which I love you guys who came on, they cracked right open. And they told us everything we wanted to know.
That's
so
if you need some men, I have a community I can introduce you
boom.
to. Of men
We're
who
gonna
are
end that
open
one
to
then.
talk. Yeah.
Boom. So listen, I'm not playing with you because what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna ask you, like, excuse me, you said, because we need and come on here and talk to us about some things that we
I
got.
have a community of men. A lot of men who will talk about these things specifically
like
because
this sounded.
you know who I'm talking about, like one
Well,
take and stuff like that. They have
I know,
podcasts,
I'm playing, but
like I don't have because I have a community of men.
Yeah, that's what you said.
You know?
That's what you said though. I have a
Me.
Fellas, don't get it twisted now.
I got a
Hold it down over
community
here.
of men.
Don't get twisted now.
Well, he said he dated a lot of women, so y'all two peas in a pod. Boom.
I didn't get a chance to date a lot of men. He came and he clinked me on the back of my neck or me on my thigh.
Seen a good friend, grabbed it up, man. I got mine.
I was just trying to enter into. I was trying to enter into that time of life where I was like, oh, that's why I said I didn't want a relationship. I was like, I'm gonna date all the men and I'm gonna do all the things. And they're gonna buy me all the stuff. I'm getting no stuff. Well, he got me stuff.
You got your husband now. How about that?
Okay.
Hey, you know what? I wouldn't trade it. I wouldn't trade it.
That's more than anybody can give you.
I don't know.
I mean, like, You got
I think
peas.
I still missed out on a few dinners though.
Well,
I still think
okay. He about to say, well, she putting that in your ear, so you know you got to give her dinner.
he's gonna feed me. Our anniversary is actually next week. He's
Yeah.
gonna feed me.
Oh, perfect! Happy
Yeah.
anniversary to you guys. We
Thank
love
you. Thank
not that we
you.
don't like any other love. We love all love, but you know it's a special thing too when we see Black love and it works. You know what I mean? So I appreciate you guys being honest, being truthful. I can't wait to listen to your podcast, honey, because I want to know. Because then I'm gonna probably come back and have some conversation about that.
Look, we're about to record after this. I'm
Yes,
sure
and
we'll be
then you
mentioning
know,
you guys.
you guys are gonna have to go in your little schedule and come back. Okay, you gotta come back because we want to get. I got some more questions for y'all, but I know we, you know,
Well,
we're
we're just happy that you were here. We have us. We're honored to
Yes,
be
yes,
here.
yes.
And it
Mhm.
was so much fun,
It
so
is.
great. And I want to tell you guys, Gaza doesn't go on pause as much, very much at all.
We get
So-
those kind of men too. I'm telling you, who be like, I don't want to, but then they be talking. And I said,
But
see,
still- but he comes on our show, right? Faithfully. But
so boom.
to going on other people's shows, he was like,
Yeah. I
But
could
that's
not say no
because
to this.
it's how it's supposed to be.
it was supposed to be. This was perfect. I felt the vibe. You guys are
Yeah, we
beautiful, beautiful,
Thank you all
beautiful.
so much.
Yeah,
Thank y'all. Thank y'all.
The waiting
So
game.
everybody, this is them. They are them. You know, all these pronouns. They are the, he, she, they, her, him.
The fortes, they, them.
Yeah, these are the fortes. And so they have a podcast. They have plenty. I'm going to put it in the chat. Actually, I'll put it on my thing when you guys give me all the names of the podcast. Please, please, please dive into them, support them, support small businesses, big businesses, whatever. We love that kind of thing. And we love seeing couples who work together because some people would beg to differ, but y'all working. So they work. That's a good thing for you guys. So I think this is it. So we love you guys. Stay safe. And if you need anything, you already know what to do. You got to comment. You want to be on, let me know. You know how to get in touch with me. We love you guys. Have a great weekend. I know the kids are going into spring break, so they're going to have a great vacation. Yep, spring break is going to start Monday, next Monday.
I'm a bad mom because I don't know that my daughter's on spring break.
What? Yep, she is. Unless she's going to go to school by herself. Because ain't nobody going to be there.
Let her wrap up the show.
Yes, that's right.
Love you. A lot of things you guys talked about. We guys will see you next time we come back on here. We love you. Thank you guys. Follow us. You already know what to do. Go on Twitter, go on Facebook, go on YouTube, all that good stuff. And we're going to come back to you guys next time. Bye.